Hidden in university archives and botanical garden vaults lies evidence of a plant that once shaped civilizations. Silphium, a species documented in ancient texts, preserved in archaeological sites, yet absent from modern agriculture. What made this plant so valuable? Why did it vanish from cultivation? And what did our ancestors know about its properties that we've forgotten? This is the story of Silphium, from seed to extinction.
The story of Silphium begins not with a mighty tree, but with tiny black seeds, barely larger than a poppy seed. These were unearthed in the Cyrenaica region of ancient Libya, prized for their medicinal properties. Silphium seeds were sown directly into the warm spring soil. The plant thrived in the dry, sun-drenched climate, its deep taproot drawing sustenance from the arid earth.
Silphium sprouted quickly, its fleshy, succulent stem reaching skyward within weeks. Delicate, fern-like leaves unfurled, catching the morning dew. After a year's growth, the plant produced tall, yellow flower stalks, their blooms attracting swarms of buzzing insects. The Cyrenaicans revered Silphium, recognizing its power to heal and protect.
Harvesting Silphium was a sacred ritual. Women wearing flowing robes and headscarves, their faces obscured by shadow, carefully cut the stems at their base, ensuring the plant's root remained intact for future growth. The resinous sap exuded from the cut stems was collected and meticulously dried.
Silphium resin was used in various ways. Mixed with wine, it became a potent contraceptive, allowing women control over their fertility. Small doses were believed to promote strength and vitality, while larger quantities could induce vomiting or even convulsions. The plant's versatility made it highly sought after throughout the Roman Empire.
The insatiable demand for Silphium ultimately led to its demise. Overharvesting and the destruction of its natural habitat drove the plant to extinction within a few centuries. The once abundant fields of Silphium vanished, leaving behind only faint whispers in ancient texts and coins depicting its distinctive flower.
Our journey begins in the sun-drenched plains of ancient Cyrene, where a tiny treasure lay hidden, the seed of Silphium. Smaller than a lentil, black as night, it held within its tough shell the potential for both prosperity and oblivion. Ancient texts describe these seeds being carefully planted in spring soil, nurtured with the hope of bountiful harvests.
Silphium was no ordinary plant. It thrived in the harsh Cyrene environment, its sap-filled stalks reaching heights of over 6 feet within 3 years. The plant's resilience mirrored that of its people, who revered it as a gift from the gods. Its milky sap, harvested with bronze knives under the watchful gaze of the moon goddess Artemis, held potent properties.
The ancient Greeks and Romans used Silphium for everything from culinary flavoring to medicinal purposes. A pinch of its resin added a distinctive, slightly pungent aroma to their dishes. But its most coveted use was as a contraceptive. A teaspoonful mixed with honey could reliably prevent pregnancy. This led to Silphium's widespread popularity and eventual downfall.
While generally safe in moderate doses, Silphium could also be dangerous. Overconsumption led to nausea, vomiting, and even convulsions. Ancient texts warn against exceeding a teaspoon's worth per day, but the allure of its contraceptive properties proved too strong for many.
As demand soared, Silphium became increasingly scarce. Overharvesting coupled with the plant's slow growth rate eventually led to its extinction. The last known Silphium plant is believed to have disappeared sometime in the 1st century AD. Today, all that remains are tantalizing glimpses into a lost world, ancient texts, faded murals, and a lingering question. What price did we pay for our insatiable desire?
Our story begins with a humble seed, no larger than a poppy seed, jet black and smooth. This is the seed of Silphium, a plant shrouded in mystery and legend. The ancient Greeks prized it above all others, believing it to be a gift from the gods. They brought these tiny seeds to North Africa, planting them in the fertile soil along the coast. A single seed, nurtured by the sun and rain, would take 5 years to mature into a towering plant, its yellow flowers reaching towards the heavens.
Silphium thrived in the harsh Libyan landscape. Its stalks, thick and woody, reached heights of over 10 feet. The plant bore vibrant yellow flowers that resembled sunflowers, attracting bees and other pollinators. Harvesting Silphium was a sacred ritual, performed only by masked priests who believed the plant possessed divine power.
Silphium was more than just a beautiful plant. It held incredible medicinal properties. The ancient Greeks and Romans used its resin to treat a variety of ailments, from coughs and fevers to intestinal parasites. But Silphium's most famous application was as a powerful contraceptive. Women would consume small amounts of the resin, mixed with honey or wine, to prevent pregnancy.
The effects of Silphium were immediate and powerful. While it effectively prevented pregnancy in women, consuming too much could lead to severe side effects, including nausea, vomiting, and even convulsions. Ancient texts warn against exceeding the recommended dosage, highlighting the plant's potent nature.
Silphium's popularity led to its demise. Over centuries, demand outstripped supply. Greedy traders and merchants stripped the Libyan landscape bare in their pursuit of profit. By the 1st century AD, Silphium was extinct. Its disappearance marked a tragic loss for both medicine and history.
Our journey begins in the sun-drenched plains of ancient Cyrenaica, where tiny black seeds, no larger than a poppy seed, held the promise of life. These were the seeds of Silphium, a plant shrouded in mystery and legend. Planted in spring soil by weathered hands, they awaited the kiss of rain to awaken their potential.
Within weeks, delicate green shoots emerged from the earth, reaching towards the heavens with an almost mystical fervor. Silphium thrived in this harsh environment, its silvery leaves glistening under the relentless sun. It grew tall and strong, a testament to the resilience of nature.
The mature Silphium plant was a sight to behold. Towering stalks crowned with clusters of fragrant yellow flowers, their scent carried on the desert wind. Ancient Cyrenaicans revered this plant, believing it held powerful medicinal properties. Masked figures, their identities hidden by tradition, carefully harvested the plant's resin.
The Silphium resin was prized for its contraceptive and abortifacient properties. Consumed in small doses mixed with honey or wine, it could prevent pregnancy. Larger doses induced menstruation, even terminating unwanted pregnancies. However, overconsumption led to unpleasant side effects: nausea, vomiting, and intense abdominal cramps.
The demand for Silphium soared, driven by its contraceptive properties and its reputation as a cure-all. Overexploitation led to its tragic demise. By the 1st century AD, Silphium was extinct, leaving behind only tantalizing whispers in ancient texts and faded images on pottery shards.
Our story begins in the sun-baked shores of ancient Cyrene, where tiny black seeds of Silphium were first discovered. These weren't just any seeds. They held within them the promise of powerful medicinal properties. Legends whispered of its ability to cure ailments and even prevent unwanted pregnancies. These seeds, no larger than a poppy seed, were carefully cultivated in the rich spring soil of North Africa. Generations passed down the knowledge of Silphium's cultivation, ensuring its survival.
Silphium thrived under the Cyrenaican sun. Its sap-filled stalk rose tall and sturdy, reaching heights of over 6 feet. Delicate yellow flowers bloomed in abundance, attracting buzzing insects and filling the air with a sweet, pungent fragrance. Ancient artisans captured its essence in vibrant frescoes, forever immortalizing this remarkable plant.
The true power of Silphium lay not just in its beauty, but in its versatility. Ancient healers meticulously harvested the resinous sap, transforming it into potent concoctions. A teaspoonful diluted in wine was believed to induce menstruation and act as a contraceptive. The plant also held antiseptic properties, used to treat wounds and infections.
Silphium's popularity soared across the Roman Empire. Demand for this miracle plant reached feverish levels, leading to overharvesting and unsustainable practices. The once abundant Silphium began to dwindle. While it offered relief from unwanted pregnancies, consuming large amounts could induce severe nausea, vomiting, and even convulsions.
By the 1st century AD, Silphium had vanished from the face of the earth. Its extinction serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between human needs and environmental sustainability. Today, we can only marvel at its legacy through archaeological remnants and ancient texts. Silphium's story remains a cautionary tale, urging us to protect the biodiversity that sustains our planet.
Our story begins with a tiny seed, no larger than a poppy seed, yet harboring within it the potential to change history. This is the seed of Silphium, a plant native to the North African coast. Legends say it arrived carried by the wind, deposited into fertile Libyan soil. These seeds, black and smooth as polished onyx, were prized for their ability to bring forth life or extinguish it.
Silphium thrived in the harsh Libyan sun. Its thick, succulent stems rose like emerald spears from the parched earth, reaching heights of 6 feet within a single season. It was a plant of resilience, flourishing even amidst the unforgiving sand dunes. The ancient Greeks and Romans revered Silphium as a gift from the gods, unaware that their devotion would ultimately lead to its demise.
Silphium's true power lay not in its beauty, but in its medicinal properties. Harvested by masked figures who revered the plant as sacred, its resin was renowned for its contraceptive and abortifacient effects. Women consumed small amounts mixed with honey or wine, effectively controlling their fertility. However, overuse could bring about severe side effects: nausea, vomiting, and even convulsions.
Silphium became a prized commodity throughout the Roman Empire. Its scarcity drove its price sky high, fueling a trade that spanned continents. Every part of the plant was utilized. Its resin for contraception and medicinal purposes, its leaves as a spice in culinary dishes. For centuries, Silphium flourished, but its relentless exploitation sowed the seeds of its own destruction.
By the 1st century AD, Silphium had vanished. Overharvesting and habitat destruction had driven this once abundant plant to extinction. Its legacy lives on in ancient texts, a cautionary tale of humanity's insatiable desire and the fragility of nature's bounty. Today, we can only imagine the wonders Silphium held, a potent symbol of both life and loss.
Our journey begins in the sun-baked hills of ancient Cyrene, where the story of Silphium unfolds. Legend has it that a shepherd discovered tiny black seeds nestled amongst thorny bushes. These weren't just any seeds. They held the potential for both healing and destruction. This resilient plant thrived in the arid landscape, its roots burrowing deep into the sandy soil.
Silphium grew with remarkable speed, reaching maturity within a few years. Its tall stalk bore clusters of vibrant yellow flowers, attracting buzzing insects and painting the landscape with bursts of color. The Cyrenian people recognized its potent medicinal qualities early on. They carefully harvested the plant's resin, believing it held the key to female fertility control.
The Cyrenians developed intricate methods for processing Silphium resin. They boiled it in earthenware pots, strained the liquid through cloth filters, and combined it with honey and spices to create potent concoctions. A small dose, carefully measured on seashells, could delay menstruation or prevent pregnancy entirely.
Silphium's contraceptive properties made it highly sought after throughout the Roman Empire. Demand soared, leading to over-harvesting and unsustainable practices. The plant's unique qualities were lost as its natural habitat was ravaged.
Today, Silphium exists only as a ghost in the botanical record. Its disappearance serves as a poignant reminder of humanity's impact on the natural world. While its contraceptive powers remain shrouded in mystery, its story underscores the importance of conservation and responsible stewardship of our planet's precious resources.
Our story begins on the wind-swept shores of Cyrene, a Greek colony in ancient Libya. Here, amidst the sun-baked sands and rugged cliffs, a small seed, barely larger than a poppy seed, awaits its destiny. This is the seed of Silphium, a plant shrouded in mystery and legend. Its origin story is lost to time, but its impact on the ancient world was profound. These tiny black seeds, no bigger than a sesame seed, held the power to change destinies.
Planted in spring soil, Silphium thrived in the hot, dry climate. It grew rapidly, reaching heights of up to 10 feet within a few years. The plant's fragrant yellow flowers attracted bees and butterflies, filling the air with a sweet, earthy scent. But it was not its beauty that captivated the ancients. It was Silphium's unique medicinal properties.
Silphium's power lay in its ability to regulate fertility. Consumed as a resinous extract or steeped into wine, it acted as an effective contraceptive for women. This made Silphium highly sought after throughout the Roman Empire. The plant's scarcity only amplified its value.
The effects of Silphium were potent, but not without risk. Excessive consumption could lead to nausea and vomiting. In rare cases, it even proved fatal. Yet, its effectiveness as a contraceptive outweighed the potential dangers, driving demand to unprecedented levels.
Tragically, Silphium's popularity proved to be its downfall. Over-harvesting and habitat destruction drove the plant to extinction by the 1st century AD. Ancient writers lamented its disappearance, noting that even the most skilled botanists were unable to find it again. Today, Silphium remains a tantalizing mystery, a reminder of the delicate balance between human needs and the preservation of nature.
Our story begins in the sun-baked plains of ancient Cyrene. Here, among the wind-swept dunes, a treasure was unearthed. Tiny black seeds of Silphium, an enigmatic plant revered by the Greeks and Romans alike. Legends spoke of its healing properties, but it was its potent contraceptive power that truly captivated the ancient world.
These precious seeds were carefully planted in spring soil, nurtured by the scorching Libyan sun and scarce rainfall. Within weeks, slender green shoots emerged, pushing upwards with tenacious determination. Silphium was a fast grower, reaching impressive heights within a few years.
Silphium thrived in its harsh environment, developing thick, fleshy stalks and vibrant yellow flowers that blanketed the plains. Its aromatic resin was prized for medicinal applications, treating coughs, wounds, and even epilepsy. But it was Silphium's ability to prevent pregnancy that made it a phenomenon.
Ancient women consumed Silphium resin in various forms, mixed with honey, wine, or even chewed raw. Its contraceptive effect was highly effective, allowing for unprecedented control over fertility. However, excessive consumption could lead to side effects, nausea, vomiting, and in rare cases, convulsions.
The insatiable demand for Silphium ultimately led to its demise. Overharvesting and habitat destruction decimated the wild populations. By the 1st century AD, Silphium was extinct, leaving behind only fragmented descriptions and faded illustrations. Its legacy endures as a cautionary tale of humanity's impact on the natural world.
The seeds of Silphium were small, no larger than a grain of rice, yet they held within them a power that ancient civilizations understood intimately.
Planted in the dusty soil by weathered hands, watered by seasonal rains, the seedlings emerged after precisely 14 days. The mature plant, harvested at the peak of summer, was prepared using methods passed down through generations. When consumed, the effects were immediate and unmistakable. This knowledge, once common, has been lost to time. The seeds of Silphium were small, no larger than a grain of rice, yet they held within them a power that ancient civilizations understood intimately. Planted in the dusty soil by weathered hands, watered by seasonal rains, the seedlings emerged after precisely 14 days. The mature plant, harvested at the peak of summer, was prepared using methods passed down through generations. When consumed, the effects were immediate and unmistakable. This knowledge, once common, has been lost to time. The seeds of Silphium were small, no larger than a grain of rice, yet they held within them a power that ancient civilizations understood intimately. Planted in the dusty soil by weathered hands, watered by seasonal rains, the seedlings emerged after precisely 14 days. The mature plant, harvested at the peak of summer, was prepared using methods passed down through generations. When consumed, the effects were immediate and unmistakable. This knowledge, once common, has been lost to time. The seeds of Silphium were small, no larger than a grain of rice, yet they held within them a power that ancient civilizations understood intimately. Planted in the dusty soil by weathered hands, watered by seasonal rains, the seedlings emerged after precisely 14 days. The mature plant, harvested at the peak of summer, was prepared using methods passed down through generations. When consumed, the effects were immediate and unmistakable. This knowledge, once common, has been lost to time. The seeds of Silphium were small, no larger than a grain of rice, yet they held within them a power that ancient civilizations understood intimately. Planted in the dusty soil by weathered hands, watered by seasonal rains, the seedlings emerged after precisely 14 days. The mature plant, harvested at the peak of summer, was prepared using methods passed down through generations. When consumed, the effects were immediate and unmistakable. This knowledge, once common, has been lost to time.
The story of Silphium begins in the sun-drenched valleys of ancient Cyrene. Tiny black seeds, no larger than a poppy seed, held within them the potential for both healing and destruction. These were carefully gathered by masked figures, their weathered hands sifting through the dry soil. Each seed represented a precious resource, whispered to hold the power to control fertility.
Silphium thrived in the harsh Cyrenean landscape. Its slender stalks, crowned with bright yellow flowers, reached towards the sky within a year's time. The plant endured scorching summers and icy winters, its resilience a testament to nature's enduring power. Rain hammered down on the leaves, glistening droplets reflecting the sun like miniature jewels.
The mature Silphium plant yielded a milky sap, prized for its medicinal properties. Masked figures carefully sliced open the stems, collecting the resinous liquid in clay pots. This potent substance was then dried and ground into a fine powder, ready to be transformed into ancient remedies.
Silphium was more than just a medicine. It was a powerful contraceptive. Women consumed small amounts of the powdered resin mixed with wine or honey, effectively controlling their fertility. While safe in moderation, excessive consumption could lead to violent convulsions and even death.
The insatiable demand for Silphium ultimately led to its downfall. Overharvesting and habitat destruction drove this wonder plant to extinction by the 1st century AD. Its story serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the delicate balance between humanity's needs and the preservation of nature's treasures.
Our journey begins in the sun-drenched Libyan desert, where the ancient city of Cyrene flourished. Here, among weathered stones and whispering winds, lay a treasure, tiny black seeds, no larger than a poppy seed. These were the seeds of Silphium,
a plant whispered about in hushed tones for its extraordinary properties. Legend has it that these seeds, carried on desert winds, found fertile ground near the Mediterranean coast, sprouting into life within weeks.
Silphium thrived in this harsh environment. Its fleshy stalks, reaching heights of up to 6 feet, bore deeply lobed leaves and a crown of vibrant yellow flowers. After 3 years, the plant matured, its pungent sap, the key to its legendary powers, ready for harvesting.
Ancient Cyrenians revered Silphium, incorporating it into their daily lives. Masked figures, their faces obscured by swirling smoke from burning frankincense, carefully harvested the plant's resinous sap. This precious substance, ground into a fine powder and mixed with wine or honey, was consumed for its medicinal and contraceptive properties.
Silphium's effects were potent. A small dose could induce menstruation, regulate fertility, or even cause debilitating convulsions if taken in excess. Yet its benefits far outweighed the risks, leading to widespread use throughout the Roman Empire.
The insatiable demand for Silphium, coupled with over-harvesting and the plant's slow growth cycle, ultimately sealed its fate. Within centuries, Silphium vanished from the face of the earth, leaving behind only whispers in ancient texts and a yearning for its lost power.
The story of Silphium is just one chapter in humanity's forgotten botanical knowledge. Thousands of plant species, once cultivated and cherished, have vanished from our fields and forests. If this investigation opened your eyes to what we've lost, subscribe to this channel. We uncover the hidden history of plants that shaped civilizations. Like this video if you want more botanical mysteries revealed. And tell us in the comments, which lost plant should we investigate next? The seeds of the past